Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Away Days, episode 57. And fine, not alone. It's a duo for once in the cat. We said we'd be locked in.
Lots of injuries back in the year.
Yeah. A few saunuses, a few availability problems. But no, next week we'll definitely, I think, be back. All the exam rubbish is done.
Yeah, I booked off work for this time slot.
And ever since you've done that, we've
and then Toss
never been able to do
Toss
stuff.
is just the flakiest guy ever.
Yeah. Fake fan. No, we're back this week. No more interruptions for the last 6-7 weeks of the season. And what a weekend, topsy-turvy one. Thank God you're here at least to represent.
Not what a weekend. It was just a sad weekend.
I can't say it was much better for mine, but my team hasn't been good all year, so I'm sort of used to it now. I've rode the wave. But in terms of, the Premier League, it keeps flipping around, and maybe it is a farmer's league. We were saying off air, maybe it is just going to end up being...
Pep Guardiola has made... That's probably going to be the headline. Not the headline, but the
title.
Title for
Pep
the
makes
video.
it a farmer's league.
Farmer's League. Question mark.
It feels like that. We'll obviously
if it's not now, it has been the last 10 years.
5-6 years now, it's been one way.
I don't know.
It's what it definitely feels like, and the shift has happened. We were talking about when is it going to come. We thought it was delayed a little bit, but it has officially arrived. City's 5 or 6 games, they just don't lose. They've won the last 3 games, scoring 4 goals or plus in every single game. Scored 3 at the Bernabeu. It's just like, all right, it's
actually
scary hours.
It's unreal.
It's very scary at the moment.
I feel like the last month we've been talking about maybe we've been trying to convince ourselves that it's like an Arsenal-Liverpool title race. City are gone. Arsenal, they drew away.
Yeah.
City, that's another chink in City's armour. Another 2 points gone for them. 2 points, 1 point taken for us. Liverpool, they're playing so well. This head-to-head battle. And then just behind the scenes, City just been cooking again, as they do every year.
Yeah, what's new?
And I mean, it's not even May yet, and they're already ahead. It's early. It's still early April.
That lead
and it's
was there.
We thought it was going to come down to the final day, and now they've already gapped us 2 points. 2 points. We have a tough run. Liverpool have a tougher run than City.
Yeah. Well, City's easy. I think that's the point.
And it's just they do this the last 5 years. Are they going for 4 Prems in the row?
It's 4 in a row, and possibly a treble. Is treble still on as well?
Yeah, it's actually insane. It felt inevitable, but I think we were trying to
we're delaying
because the points this year to win the league is going to be less than past years. We're maybe they're a bit vulnerable, right? Yeah. Maybe they're still going to drop points, but it doesn't feel like they are. You were saying off there, maybe I'm overreacting. Everyone's overreacting. Yeah. But it just feels like with the way they're playing and how easy they're getting the points, that it's inevitable. They do this every year.
Yeah, I'll get into my theories about that in a little bit. Actually, I might as well touch and continue talking about what I learned the weekend was it's advantage City, but it's not this is sort of a double thing. It's not chaos or drama for Arsenal yet, and I get where it all comes from because we were talking about it a bit off air. I just think it's been blown out of proportion a lot, because let's take everything out of it. As a single standalone game, coming in top of the table, second chance to go back top. Yeah, it's a big game, but you are against Aston Villa, who has already beaten you. Unai Emery's got a bit of a vendetta, I believe.
Unai's got Mikel's number, man. It's insane.
And Aston Villa are a top 4 side. Let's not take that away.
You're not wrong.
So I think that's sort of where I'm coming. And obviously, advantage City, definitely believe in that. But if you just take it as a standalone game, and as a neutral, it's obviously very easy for me to say that, not as a fan, not investor or anything like that. But I think you guys still performed great for the first 55, 60 minutes. Then they're tight on the shift, a bit more balanced later down in the game. But you look at Villa, we'll touch on the game a little bit later on, but we're saying off air, Tielemans, ridiculous. Watkins, all right. They were raving about.
They've actually got
Rodgers.
depth. Like someone Bailey who scores the winner or the goal to
big
put
goal.
them up.
Yeah.
And, to have all the midfield injuries, but to have Yuri Tielemans there to play a great role.
Yeah.
Zaniolo's kind of been in and out.
Yep.
Was good last night. We talked about their centre-back depth off air.
Incredible.
You got the 2 Spanish La Liga, centre-backs of the year.
Yeah.
As a pairing there, who both sort of have played against Unai or with Unai for years, right? They have a very good team on paper, right? Don't take anything away from Villa, as you said, top 4 team. But I don't know, whether maybe Arsenal just maybe we're serial bottlers. It feels honestly. I was thinking last night, right? That club can't even hurt me anymore. It's been 4. It's been 4 years now
too much.
Of having a milestone we're going for, And every time that season we've just failed to get there. And the problem is there's nothing really above the Premier League for us now. Like as in,
topping out.
it feels like we are. Like, you know, as in, okay, maybe on paper there's some areas we can improve our team. But the same can probably be said about City. Like, they don't really have fullbacks on paper, right? You know, like...
But it works.
Like, they don't have the insane depth on paper as they have in, like... You know, like, they don't have Gundo there anymore. Like, they don't have, like, the... I know they still got KDB and Haaland, but they won without KDB and Haaland during the week.
I know.
Well, not one, but, it's, you know, against Real.
I feel like a win. I feel like a win, let's be honest. It's just...
I don't know.
I still think, though, it's still a massive jump from you guys, Liverpool, to City. Because
I think it's just Pep. I honestly think it's just Pep.
Maybe it is.
I think it's like... I think it's the experience of having been there and done that 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
You know, like... You're trying to teach a bunch of players who haven't won anything to beat serial winners, right?
Yeah.
Like, as in, like...
It's not skill anymore.
Yeah, it really. I think it really is just like a mentality thing at this point, right? Would City have won that game last night? Probably.
Yeah.
Would they have put it away in the first 30 minutes when we were so far on top? Probably, right? You know?
Yeah.
Except, it's so frustrating to watch sometimes. Like, it feels like we're trying to dribble the ball into the net.
Yeah,
I won't go too in depth on the game now, but yeah, it's just City, man. Like, they're just as we said, it's just this time of the year. It feels inevitable. And yeah, as you said, don't take anything away from Villa because they are a top 4 team. But I feel like, if anything, the gaps are something going to get bigger now rather than us clawing it back. Personally, it feels like the momentum shift.
Yeah. And
like, this is where City just run away with it.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll quickly before we get into everything else. Yeah, I just feel like only thing now I've gone from me defending Liverpool, to now go to defend Arsenal. But only thing I'll say with that whole, they've had years to do it. Everyone says Arteta's had, 5? Is it 4 years now? 5.
I think this is his 5th year, but fourth
proper seasons, right? Whereas Pep came into a side that already had been winning and then has had 10 years. So, like, I feel like always the eyes on me are on Arteta just because the character he is and the side Arsenal are. But you're right, on paper, it's probably not much to separate the starting 11s. And like we saw, you guys have gotten results and wins against them.
Even the benches, in my opinion. Like, I think...
You still thinking the benches...
I personally think we have the squad depth now. Personally, I think our squad depth is up there. Like, we brought on Martinelli last night. We you know, Thomas Partey was on the bench. You know, we have, in my opinion, we have the depth there now. Like, okay, maybe 1, 2, and 9 on the bench isn't there with City. But if you're going to have 5 players to bring on, I don't think much separates our players between theirs. I think we have the better midfield depth. Like, to be honest, you know, okay, Mateus Nunes has gone there, but he's kind of been non-existent since he's been there. I know he started. But I think the squad's their match.
Yeah.
Obviously, the managers are at different points in their careers. Like, you know, Mikel's just starting out.
Yeah, first job.
And Pep's a serial winner, probably going to go down as the greatest manager of all time. Like, you know, I mean, when the dust is settled between, you know, this Pep team and this City era, we might look back and say this is the greatest team of all time. This is the greatest manager of all time. Yeah. And competing against that was like almost an impossible feat, right? That's why Klopp's name in the Premier League era is, despite only winning 1 Premier League, that's why there is so much credit there, right? Because, like, to beat this City team takes so much. But where do you see? Do you think Liverpool are done now? Like, do you think the only challenges to City now are Arsenal?
I feel like I just can't rule either of them sides out.
I think it's wheels off, to be honest.
You reckon?
I think I've seen this play out before with Arsenal last year.
I've seen it happen, but I've also seen Liverpool always be behind, end up only, like, you know how every sort of second season it always felt like Liverpool were leading the title at one point in the final day, and then City end up scoring the 3 goals to beat a team. But I feel like it'll be a similar thing where Liverpool will go and now win some games, but that gap will never be made up. Because you touch on City's fixtures. Yeah. The only hard game is this weekend versus Tottenham away. And that's the 2-point gap. These 2 teams, Arsenal and Liverpool, then cannot lose
who else do they
the rest of the season. I think it's Forest in there somewhere. I think Wolves are in there. I think Wolves play all the big boys. But I just feel like if this weekend, if City don't lose, I think it's almost title over for the other sides. I still back in Arsenal and Liverpool.
They got Brighton away.
Tough one. Zerbi has a bit of a thing with Man City. But
wait, so who do you think they have this weekend?
They have away to Tottenham this weekend, Man City.
No, it's not until 15th of May, apparently.
Or
They
maybe
got
I've read it wrong.
Brighton this weekend.
Oh, well, I've read it wrong.
Yeah, so Brighton away. But then, yeah, like...
That's still a tough. It's still a tough game.
It's also like, what are the teams they're versing playing for? Forest have kind of... I know they're playing to stay alive, but like... They've got 5 points on the rest now, and I don't think Forest will be targeting City at home to be that game they get points from,
a big
right?
game, yeah.
Wolves
Wolves at home is easier. When
it feels like Wolves are just on the beach.
Yeah.
Fulham are definitely on the beach.
So Spurs right at the end, so I've read it wrong.
Spurs.
The last two
By
games,
that point, Spurs probably have Champions League. You know, if it's for the top 4, maybe they're playing for Champions League still.
Yeah. West Ham will be an interesting one because West Ham could be going for Europa Conference.
But West Ham, yeah, they could. But like, look, on paper, yeah, you're not wrong. Very easy fixture run.
That's the thing. So, I got the fixture of this obviously wrong. So maybe by then it's already tied up because I thought Tottenham was their hardest game. We obviously know
it is their hardest game on paper.
The history
but,
of they can't win away.
But by then,
it could be all said and done.
Yeah, because
it feels like Arsenal will have to be perfect, which I think it's harder for us because I keep saying the fixture. And I think
it had to be perfect for us last night. To be honest. I don't think we could have dropped a point.
And this seems weird because I think the mentality. No, we'll get in the games a little bit. Sorry, we're rambling a bit, but I think the mentality is actually going to be better with you guys versus Liverpool. I think Liverpool's heads have gone a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think they have the way just to win games when they just find a way to do it. I think they've got that history and precedent over you guys. But I think this year your mentality is fine. I think last night the mentality was fine. You were going for the game. That's just the way it is. It almost seems roles reverse what you would think it would be, whereas you think Arsenal might just find a way to win. But it feels like Liverpool just finding ways to win ugly and not deserve but still get it. But Arsenal actually got the mentality to stay with it. It's just that 2-point gap feels like 8 points. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's just the way it feels at the moment.
I've been saying this year is a long season, but that was more towards, I think, like a Liverpool team, which felt like they had frailties. You know, they felt like they could crack.
The battery was starting to...
City, it was more so as in like, you know, they start slow and they're always building.
Yeah.
The gap just got too small too quick. I think for City it was more about like, can we, you know, I think Arsenal and Liverpool were both going to drop points because we're not that City machine.
No.
It was, can that gap between the top two stay big enough for long enough?
Yeah.
And unfortunately it's been 1 point now, 1 or 2 points now for like weeks.
That's it.
And in reality, like I think we're a bit naive to think that it was going to be Arsenal, Liverpool, whereas all along, you know, City probably were in the prime spot to just kick on with their easy fixture run.
Injuries are getting better and they're getting better. All right, let's get into some of the games here. Starting with probably one of the shock results outside of the top of the table, which was Newcastle 4, Tottenham 0.
Yeah.
At least some joy for an Arsenal fan of the weekend.
What was it? Was it 10-0 in aggregate?
10-1 now.
10-1
over the
in
last
aggregate?
2 seasons.
What was that, 11? 10?
I think
was
it's
it
6-1?
6-1?
It was 6 last year.
That's mental, eh?
Tottenham can't go to Newcastle.
Tottenham haunted, mate.
When we said it, they're just sort of struggling a bit. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying, you look at their last few games, other than for second half FC at home.
Second half FC.
After Christmas, they haven't been hot shots. And I guess this is the whole and system where do the legs start to go? I'll touch on it on our midweek pod with Nathan, but in the championship, we're seeing that with Leicester. The Leicester's legs are going. They haven't won enough. And it's the system that just plays so high energy, so high intensity. In many ways, you could have said your legs went a little bit last. It's probably mentality. But this high energy system, this counter press, and this high attacking ways, you can't just learn it in 1 year. You know, we joke about the title in August or whatever they won in August. But that was good. But have we ever seen anything near that since? Probably not even 6 out of 10 of that level of performance since. That's just tiredness.
I think we expected this with Spurs though. Like
we expected.
We said, you know, like they obviously had such a good start, August title, etc. But we expected them all year to just be yo-yo, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I know it's probably more on the downside now. I don't know what their fixture run is though now, but I feel like they haven't had an easy run the last.
It's not been easy, but it hasn't been quite. It's not straightforward.
Because you're not wrong. To be fair, they still have to verse us.
They've got you
City,
so they've got you
and
next
Liverpool?
week coming up. That's one coming.
And Liverpool.
So they got coming against Arsenal.
Wow, it must have been
Arsenal
too
home,
hard.
Chelsea away, Liverpool away, and then home to Burnley.
So they could definitely
home to Man City.
They could Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Wow.
Yeah, and away to Sheffield United and Burnley in between.
So the gap. We were talking before. The gap between you and Spurs. 10 points.
Ridiculous.
But they could get 0 points in 12 there. Like genuinely.
No, they could get.
Wow.
But they do have Sheffield United and they have Burnley.
They have 2 on paper games, which they should batter.
And they've got goal difference.
That should be negative. 6 points locked in.
Yeah.
You know? But, and obviously, it's not like you guys are going to get 12 out of 12. You guys are stinking the game.
We've still got you guys to play. We've still got another top. I think we've got Brighton still to play. We can't beat, I think.
And when did you last win?
5 games ago, I think.
That's mental.
Yeah.
But,
FA Cup. FA Cup merchants. Yeah, Cup merchants.
But yeah, look, Spurs.
They were good.
What do you make of like Ange's like media sort of stuff at the moment? About like, you know, if you want to come to if you want to play for a Champions League team, don't come to Spurs. Like do you like think? Like, do you sort of get what he's saying?
I know what he's saying, but it just comes across at the wrong sort of time where everything's sort of not falling apart, but it's all sort of downhill in the season.
If he said this like 6 months ago,
if he said this when you won the title in August, then I'm here, I'm back, and I still understand it, but it feels like a panic statement just to get the fans and the media diverted somewhere else, right? Because let's be honest, the performances just haven't been.
Oh, they were shocking against Newcastle.
Like, they had a good opening 10 minutes, but outside that, I don't think they even touched the ball. It felt like, and even then, they had a lot of possession, but no, like still like Brighton possession. It was just like side to side.
I wonder if Newcastle have a good fixture run. Like
Newcastle coming good
because they're kicking into gear, man. Like they
that's the positive from the weekend. I feel like for a lot of
they versed West Ham a couple of weeks ago.
Turn that around. That was ridiculous.
Where they were obviously 3-1 down, but like to be fair, first half they dominated.
Yep.
And they were really, really good. And then I think they've just been cruising through between now and then, and they battered Spurs last night.
Let's have a look at their fixture.
And they looked really good. Was the biggest takeaway.
And they're 1 point behind United, equal with West Ham.
I think they're equal points. United. I think they're both on 50.
That's right. United dropped down to 7. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Am I
they're
right
sitting
there?
in 6th then currently.
They're 6th. Yeah.
So they're sitting in 6th. They've got Palace away, Sheffield United at home, Burnley away, Brighton at home, United away, second last game for them, and then Brentford away.
Okay. So like relatively speaking,
you can basically win every single game there.
Yeah. Like where compared to Spurs is very tough. I mean, geez, I didn't realize how tough Spurs is.
I forgot they had City as well. I forgot they had oh my God, Liverpool as well. I totally forgot about that Liverpool game.
Who, Spurs?
I thought I knew Chelsea. I think
so. They have top 3 and then 11th.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I mean, despite that gap being so big, Spurs are going to need to pull their finger out to lock at least top 5 away and hopefully luck plays into their draw.
You've got to get either 2 wins against those big teams or a result.
Villa are cruising, man.
Yeah.
On paper, Villa are going to smash top 4.
But we say this, I feel like I feel like for myself at least, every month I'm going from, Villa might be dropping off here to Villa's back to Tottenham. Because only 3-4 games ago, Tottenham did beat Villa.
I don't think we really...
4-1 or 4-0.
Battered them away.
And I know that Villa came off Europe and stuff, but it was just one of those ones where, as the tides finally turned of Tottenham back to their best.
I don't think we realised how hard Spurs' run is, though.
Yeah.
That's mental.
We didn't have the foresight to look ahead.
That's an insane run.
They could be looking over their shoulder now to Newcastle.
I mean...
Because you say United and
they're gonna want to get probably 3 or 4 points in those 12, which is not an easy task.
No way. Not with the teams what they're going for.
Plus, you probably lock in 6 points. I mean, with Spurs we're talking about, you can't really lock in much, but you ideally lock in 6 points there.
Yeah.
They get to 70 points.
Sounds like it should be enough.
Sounds like it should be enough. In 5th place, 70 points should be enough.
It's just a ridiculous amount of points. But Newcastle, I feel like we said it off air. It feels like they've gone through the bottom of the barrel. They've seen it all.
I was really worried about Eddie Howe's job, eh?
We were saying it. Does he last next? I'm still big on, I think, if they want to progress, maybe try someone new.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they get to the end of the season, evaluate the whole thing, and then go,
Well, these Saudi guys, they don't muck around.
Yeah, I mean, they're spending a lot of money. They don't want to come 7th.
Yeah.
Like,
they'll take, I think they won't take, they need Europa League football for the progression of the club. But again, you see that injuries. Nick Pope's been out.
Yeah.
Botman's out again with another knee injury. Like, they've had no Joel Linton. They've had no...
Wilson? He's injured?
Wilson's always out. Like, as much as he's a good striker, he's always out. But see, Isaac, when he plays, he's phenomenal. And your guy, Anthony Gordon, as well.
Yeah.
He had a great game on the weekend.
Isaac and Gordon as like a...
That combo.
Like a young combo.
Underrated combos, you know what I mean?
To like kick on this Newcastle team is I think Isaac's probably the second or third best striker in the league.
One of the most clinical in the league.
I think he's so well rounded.
Yeah.
And I'll touch on him later.
I like that. Good forward looking. Yeah, he's like Haaland was always known as a clinical striker. And obviously this year it's gone away. So you'd put him above him. Then like why the striker is more clinical than Isaac?
Arsenal were rumoured to sign. I think everyone was rumoured to sign
Everyone
him
was
a
always
couple
linked
years
to,
ago. But
What a
missed
miss.
out on a great signing from Newcastle. 70 mil?
60, 70, yeah.
Oh, he's worth 120 now.
Right now, he's killing it. So that's a big win for them. So that's a 4-0 win. 10-1 on that good last few games. So that's a mental barrier for Spurs to get over next season. And if Spurs are still Spursy, they'll manage to miss the 5 or the 4.
That'd be impressive.
Actually, would it be so surprising if it was like Spurs being okay, finishing 5th, and then for some reason we don't get the coefficient in the Premier League? That would be the most Spursy thing of all time. Have a strong season. Somehow the
that was like
coefficient
locked
goes...
in, that coefficient thing. It was like 5 Champions League spots were locked in.
Yeah, and now because Bayern are making it interesting and because Leverkusen should walk the Europa League, I think, the coefficient... All of a sudden, Bundesliga went from 4th place to 2nd.
Yeah,
so now it's all... And La Liga's got 3 of their 4 teams. And
4th to 2nd, damn.
I'm pretty sure they were 4th when I last checked. And now they're 2nd.
That sounds about right.
It's all... You actually got to go for 4th just to be safe.
Yeah.
You got to lock away 4th. So it'll be interesting to see how those two teams tie up. We'll skim over the next few. Brentford beat Sheffield United 2-0, as expected, I think. Sheffield United beach stuff now.
Yeah.
Really beach stuff. And then Burnley drew 1-1 with Brighton. We've got to touch on... Okay, we got both teams in many regards. Burnley first...
They're giving it a crack.
We had a moment, we thought,
Yeah.
and they've kept giving it a crack. But
They're giving it a crack.
They are shooting themselves in the foot.
What are they, 6 points? Below... 6 points below being safe, because they're 5 points below Forest.
And then
2 behind Luton.
Luton still haven't won any.
But it doesn't matter because they need to finish that 17th.
Last week they lost to Everton, I think it was last Everton, when Muric, the keeper, kicked it into Calvert-Lewin, who scored a deflection. And then they got a red card. O'Shea got a red card for miscontrolling it. So you lose your best centre-back this game. And you're winning against Brighton, great, whatever, you pounce on a mistake. And then Muric just, I don't know, was it even a miscontrol? He just kicked it. He almost kicked it in his own net and just...
James Trafford must be punching the air, man. He must be fuming. Because what's happened there? Muric
is he available?
He was on the bench.
That's ridiculous. Because Trafford wasn't great. He wasn't bad, though. He was far from bad. But Muric he's been
stinking. Yeah.
I don't get why they keep persisting with the playing. At the start of the season, I said, let's go for a little bit longer, but they were actually winning or competing with not being possession footy.
Yeah.
They were taking it to Brighton. They were ahead. Just park the bus. Just put 6, 7 behind the ball. I don't. That's just.
I'm glad to see they're persisting with Vincent that way. I wasn't sure. A couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh,
had that debate.
Are they just gonna cut ties?
Yeah, go like an Allardyce type.
There's no way at this stage of the season you go down with a manager and then sack him. Because if you're gonna sack him, you do it when you're still in the league, right?
Well, it should have been around January or February.
Do it in December.
Yeah.
The play style wasn't there clearly. They weren't getting the results with the way they were playing. That's when you change the manager.
Cut ties then.
I'm glad to see they're persisting with Vincent because they obviously, ran a mark in Championship last year and hopefully the squad's got some Premier League experience. I know morale will probably be down, but they know they can be the Championship.
They've got it, yeah.
Yeah, so look.
It's just who stays. That's the thing. When we had that conversation when you and Antonio were like, and it was right at that time you were right to say so that you should have or they could have gone and got someone new.
Yeah, if they wanted to go down that road.
Yeah. And the thing I was saying, but I was relying on players hanging around. Now, there's some players there that have actually, there's some bright players there that have futures, but do they want to go back to the Championship and do it all again and come back up, play a 48 game or 46 game season? Do you want to go through that again? Some of the big teams might say, we'll bring you in and loan you or like something like that. Wouldn't be surprised if they're one of those mid-table Fulham sides, pick a few of these guys up or, Bournemouth or something like that. So that's only a worrying sign. If you stay with Vincent, if you stay with the style of football, but if you lose the Aston-Yongs and if you don't sign back, like some of these loanee players have got in, if Sanderberg wants to go, if he wants to stay in the Premier League, then it's like, maybe we did make a mistake. Yeah. You have to start all over again. Because
it's no guarantee.
No, it is no guarantee.
Yeah, it's no guarantee.
It's just, if you're going to go down this path, you hope 80 or 75% of the players stay. Yeah. So you stay that system, you build a formula. Because if they do leave, then it's no guarantee they go back up, like you said. So that's the worrying sign for them. And then for Brighton, we talked about them. Actually, we were both together that day. December time or something like that, or maybe Jan time.
If you're going to clip it, just clip my De Zerbi chat where I was like, De Zerbi hasn't proven yet. 10th in the league. You guys reckon 5th? Nah, look. I thought the upside with Brighton was there because the way that the way they play means they can sort of take anyone on their day.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't worked out. Like, where are they now?
I think they're still 10th, I think.
Yeah, 9th, 10th.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. We talk like they're like 15th.
They're 10th, but Chelsea have 2 games in hand and they're same points. So, look.
And Wolves.
Look, we predicted 9th.
Yeah. They're probably going to finish around
and
that
it won't be like a bad season if they finish 9th, 10th. But it'll just be a little bit underwhelming for, like, considering how their sort of teams around them have gone.
Yeah.
And sort of where they were. Like, we had the same conversation with Spurs where it's like, okay, we predicted Spurs 8th. They're currently 5th.
Yeah.
But they, after how well they started.
Have we adjusted?
Like, do expectations change? And is 5th, is missing Champions League going to be
a big deal?
Yeah, like, is that, like, should we put a little bit more pressure on Ange to have, like, done better because of where they were?
Yeah.
The same probably applies to Brighton, like, as in...
Top of the league.
Like, Brighton were flying,
Yeah.
Don't forget their squad is really poor on paper compared to their, everyone around them. It's really, really thin.
Yeah.
Like, but... Look, I don't know where Brighton are at the moment, eh? Like, as in, they've relied on finding gems the last 3 or 4, the last 5, 6 years. Yeah,
I mean,
and like, as in, I know they've had no Solly March, and
well, that's a big one.
But Pascal Gross is 32. Like, he's had an all-time season. He's had probably his best career season, right?
And he's carried this team to,
and he's not going to be around there for much longer, right?
Yeah. The fact he that didn't work either. Doesn't work hard enough, something like that. It's
João Pedro's been underwhelming. Like, he's come in, been a little bit injured, hasn't started. Danny
Welbeck's their best.
Even Ferguson. Like, I don't know, has he been injured? Like, what's up with him?
Just not continue. They haven't started.
He was supposed to be a 100 mil striker at the start of the year when he scored the hat trick, but
barely 40, I think.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a weird spot, Brighton, because, like, you rely on their scouting system, but I think you've just stolen their scout, haven't you?
Yeah, or take it. They're one of their directors of.
Yeah, you've stolen one of their main like football directors. So
it's
I guess they're just content with being sort of a bit of a Fulham in the league.
They'd be happy being
100%. But as in, there felt like the opportunity there to, like, take that next step.
Yeah,
they sold probably 300 or 400 million worth of players. Caicedo, McAllister, Cucurella
went.
So like even Trossard,
Sanchez went.
Yeah, they shipped off lots and lots of players, right? At probably 200 to 300 million players, and then spent all bringing new players in. So it's like there's money there, but are the managers, the owners just pocketing it? Like, I mean,
yeah, where do they go?
If you're a Brighton fan, I probably feel a little bit like little bit dull, in the sense that it felt like we had a good manager to kick us on, and they sort of haven't done that. And on paper, having higher expectations than 9th or 10th was unrealistic. But you'd probably feel a little bit, like we could have invested and tried to kick on a little bit. But it's a really tough league.
I think it's the discussion for some. I feel like it's going to be a good episode. When we got those dull weeks, I think it's a good discussion, because when I think about, this is when I was writing all this stuff, I think you compare almost to West Ham last year, where they finished almost relegation, but they won that.
Just survived.
They won that Conference League trophy. And it was like, this is Brighton's first season, the Europa League. They did well. They won their group in a tough group. They got Roma. They got unlucky. They got knocked out. Yeah. I just thought after that we'd see a turnaround in terms of the players are fresh now. There's no cup football. Yeah. They didn't get anywhere in the Carabao or FA. You thought that maybe they'd turn things around. Didn't quite happen. So then you're looking at two things. Yes, they dealt with cup football, but have they really bounced back afterwards? No. Does De Zerbi still want to be there? That's another question with all the manager around. I just think there's going to be a lot of rejigging come next year. And then
they also have a very tough fixture run for the rest of the season. Like, we're speaking about this. They need to capitalise on their easy fixtures.
And then the last few...
And then, do what Brighton can do, where they can nick one or two here. Yeah. But it's not looking that way. Like, they have a tough fixture run. They got us. They got City.
City's to go.
They've got
Tottenham.
I don't know. They've got a lot of tough fixtures, right?
Yeah, a lot of tough ones to go.
And they don't have Spurs, but they could probably finish as low as like 12th, 13th, because that's how tight. Yeah, that's how tight the points are down there. So
home to City, away to Bournemouth, which is a hard fixture as well. Home to Villa, away to Newcastle, home to Chelsea, home to United.
Also, they already versed us last week, but I knew they had a tough run. So look, it's
difficult. They come off Liverpool.
They're gonna have to get some results to somewhere keep where they should be.
respectable
paper,
position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
It's a really good off season. There's a lot of teams that have really good off season sort of debates about where their future is, and it's going to be really interesting. But for now, I think for Brighton, it's just like get to the end of the season, reevaluate.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting who ends up their manager or player wise. All right, the biggest game next weekend I thought would have been Arsenal and Chelsea. It might not even be, but we tried to do a combined 11 for that, and it was hard because we did the whole.
We changed the format.
Yeah, because I rocked up and I was like, I only got 2 in and I had to be really harsh.
When you messaged me that, I was like, oh, Palmer.
Yeah. That's about it. I forced him.
I wouldn't mind signing Palmer. He might be on the bench.
So we went to our rule because that's what we did for the Manchester Derby. We might keep this rule because maybe it just keeps it really interesting. 5 of one team, which means 5 of Chelsea players in this situation. And it means you have to miss out a big player.
Chuck some stinkers in here, mate.
And this team does not look balanced at all because Chelsea players stink. We'll go 1 for 1. I'm assuming we went 4-3-3 or 4-2-3, 4-2-1-3, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I went a bit of a 4-3-3.
Yeah, classic formation. Do you want to get kids off?
So I had to scrape one in here. And like David Raya is obviously a better keeper, but I've gone Petrovic.
Yeah,
just because it's goalkeeper. I was a goalkeeper. It doesn't matter. Like, with these centre backs in front, it doesn't even matter. They're going to face like one shot a game, and as long as Petrovic has hands, it should be right.
Should be good.
You've gone.
I went Raya, but that means I have to make a big call.
Yeah, you made it. That was a cop out for me. Like, keeper, chuck in Petrovic.
But you know what's probably the smarter move because it makes sense logically. But yeah, I've gone David Raya, better keeper. Had a okay year, but at Arsenal, it's hard to stand out, I feel like, as a goalkeeper.
He's not been bad. I think maybe... I mean, it must have been the tone Arteta was going for. Like, we had Ramsdale, this big sort of, like, a little bit eccentric guy, really loves getting the crowd involved.
Yeah.
And I think Arteta was just like, I want a bit more of an Edison, right? What does Edison do? Like, he
makes some good saves.
Favela sort of keeper. Like, boot the ball long, nearly concede on the line to like a player pressing you and then just like get up and wipe it off. Like
skip turns.
Probably overly composed, like too composed, but
too relaxed.
I guess Ray has done his job.
It fits the theme. Yeah, Ray's done a good job.
He's been okay.
It's hard to be a good Arsenal keeper.
Especially with the lack of shots he's faced in the last at least 10 games.
The clean sheet info all goes to about Gabriel and Saliba, so that's why. Do you go your back 4 and then I'll go my back 4?
So I've gone Gusto, pretty easy one.
Yeah.
Gabriel Saliba, sorry, Thiago Silva. I could not get rid of these two. And then Cucurella, another bit of a cop out. You
have to fit them in somewhere.
There's really no good left backs in the league, let alone between these two teams.
When we're making those lists, remember we were making it's no Andy Robertson anymore. Luke Shaw's not the guy anymore. There's no good left back.
Yeah, so if it wasn't 5 players, I probably would have gone Ben White. And then if Timber was fit.
I keep saying this, man.
If Timber was fit,
Well, Yaka Kyrgios, he's my guy, to be honest. I like a bit of Yaka Kyrgios.
I prefer Tomiyasu.
I know.
Kyrgios all right.
I just have a soft spot for
Kyrgios. I just love Tomiyasu. I think he's so underrated. I think Tomiyasu
is very underrated.
I think Tomiyasu is a more out and out right back than Ben White. But he's had injury problems all year Ben White's been very, very good. But Tommy just gives, I don't know, he just gives something else on the wing. But yeah, Gusto's been very good in Reece James' absence. I think you probably got him in yours as well.
Yes. I went Cucurella and Gusto, and because I didn't have the goalkeeper, I went Saliba and Thiago Silva. I know, and I knew I was going to get this reaction.
Once again, Gabriel just gets so slandered. Stiffed, bro.
And I'm not making myself look any good because I always say I rate him, but I never put him in any of these teams. But no,
he gets so unlucky, Gabriel. In all these teams. It's Saliba. But I actually think Gabriel's been better this year.
I think, especially yesterday, I think he was much better. Well, not much better. I think he was the better centre-back, and he's been very good the last month or so. Yeah, I had to fit him in somewhere. I probably should have gone the goalkeeper, but I think the goalkeeper's been so bad.
It's a cop-out.
He's been so bad, I had to put Raya in. So, I went Cucurella.
Is Sanchez just out?
I think he's just not picked anymore.
So Petrovic...
He was out. He was injured.
Petrovic, he was out for a while, but Petrovic is just stinky. But Sanchez just doesn't get picked.
Because he had a few decent games, Petrovic, but he's had some stinky ones in between. But I think Poch is just stuck.
Yeah.
He's not twisting, he's sticking.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That is my backline's carried by Saliba and Gusto. and an old man.
Nah, Thiago Silva's good. No, he is good.
He's been slow recently.
But Gabriel's better. Yeah, he has been slow. I think his age is...
We're starting to see
catching up.
He's 40, but we're starting to just see his age catching.
Probably got the same midfield three.
Maybe not. No, I don't think I will.
Oh, I've gone Rice, Odegaard, Palmer.
Yeah, I went different midfield. Out of position FC, classic Preston.
So, yeah.
I went Rice, Fernandez, Odegaard.
Oh, my God. Oh, okay.
Because I've got...
Rice, Fernandez. Oh, okay. So you put Palmer...
Yeah. I put Palmer.
You put Palmer like right back. Oh, no, right wing. Or left wing or something.
Yeah. Out of position, Cole Palmer.
Odegaard last night played in that 8 role, so I felt it's justified me putting him there. Enzo just doesn't deserve to be in this team. And
couldn't put Caicedo.
Okay, neither does one of my forwards, though, to be fair. So,
to be honest, though, his best is the best. I probably could have put Gallagher, but I'm not putting Gallagher in a combined team.
Gag's nowhere
I feel sick putting Gallagher in a combined team, but he's probably been their best midfielder, if I'm being serious.
Palmer's been insane, obviously. Yeah. So that's why I've put him. You've obviously got him in your team. Yeah. I've got him at my 10 because I think it's where he plays his best ball.
So you rate him at the 10, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Antonio, because I talked about him playing at the 10. Maybe Nathan. I can't remember which show I was on. I said to him, I think I'm seeing in the future him playing at the 10 as his best football.
Yeah.
And either Antonio or Nathan were like, I don't think so. I think he'll be a winger.
Nah, he's too slow for a winger. Too tall, too slow.
That's what I feel.
He's too good in the ball.
That's where I came from.
Yeah.
But so you agree with me?
100%.
In the future,
Cole Palmer's...
Once his team's sorted out, he'll end up as number 10.
Cole Palmer gives me who's a good... I don't make any crazy statements, but as in... It is pretty KDB-esque, as in, he's not super... not super athletic or anything, not super
not that turn of pace.
Not super quick, and doesn't actually do he's not super intricate on the ball.
Yeah,
I think he excels in what he does, with the ball, is in the balls he plays, elite finisher, like a goal scoring 10, right? Obviously scores a lot of penalties, but uses the ball really really well, as in best or second best in the league sort of stuff, and. Yeah, just a staple piece to whatever. Everything goes through Cole Palmer sort of thing, right?
Like, right? Yeah.
And with a bit more help around him, I think his output would probably be even higher. Which and it's already super super high. So I really rate Cole Palmer. I think City probably bit mad that they let one go there because
he was their guy. He was their
KDB is getting on. He's not going to be around forever. He's not slowing down as such, but as in. He's over the curve, right? He's on the back end of his career now, and they don't really have anyone straight swap to go in there, and they're not easy to find, those 10s.
Do you reckon they just put Foden down there? Oscar Bob then becomes
I guess Foden, you're not wrong. Yeah. I guess I've been thinking about Foden as a right winger. Yeah. He's a 10 long term.
And it's the same thing. That's sort of
you're not wrong. Yeah. I think Foden's a bit more of I don't think he's as KDB. I think Palmer's more of a KDB mold than Foden. Just physically, KDB is tall. Foden's really tall. I think he feels like he's 6'2".
I think he'd be close to that. Yeah, he's a big boy. But Palmer's got that. It's gonna sound shit.
So I think did I say Palmer's really tall? Not Foden. Palmer's really tall.
Yeah. I knew it as I was saying. You meant
Foden's more of
He gives more winger vibes.
He can definitely be more of a winger. He's a bit quicker.
Not as safe on the ball as.
Yeah. Less consistent on the ball.
Yeah.
But his best is
Hollywood.
I mean, look at his finishes recently. The one against
Champions
Madrid,
League, United.
And then United. Oh my god!
In the last month, he scored.
I love Bukayo, but he doesn't do that. Bukayo, to be fair, scored a great goal against Bayern.
That's built.
But it's more bottom corner stuff. Just a tidy finish.
The football fans love that.
Foden, man, with authority, smacks him in the net. These things. Keepers aren't getting near these.
Yeah.
And it's insane to watch. And it just makes you feel like he's that next level above.
Yeah.
Don't know how we got sidetracked on Foden, but...
No, it's number 10. It's interesting.
Yeah.
They'll probably both end up number 10.
Cole Palmer. So your front three then?
I went Cole Palmer on the left, our position FC. I'll get it. I'll cop it.
Oh, what's better than mine?
Fire me away. I went Bukayo second on the right, and I'm quickly touch on. I went Kai Havertz down the middle as the centre forward striker thing. That's who I can compare to Cole Palmer. Obviously, they're different levels, but don't you reckon Cole Palmer and Havertz had that same sort of
similar
lanky? Good with the ball at their feet.
Havertz is so lanky, it does my head in.
That's hard for him. It makes it hard for
last night. Oh my god!
He made some great runs last night, but I think
he was elite off the ball. He wasn't that bad.
He was 8 out of 10. Just couldn't get the finished product.
Needed to put one away though. Needed to. You know, that Ollie Watkins finish is what Havertz needed to do.
Yeah.
He was in that position multiple times on his left foot, right?
Yeah.
And just didn't have the sort of like the finesse to, you know, chip it over or put it through the legs.
Yeah.
It was all just like
hit it.
I feel like a player who's in their peak confidence is not. I feel like Havertz I don't know if he's just like lethargic or like, you know.
He looks dopey all the time, man.
Yeah, he's really dopey. Like, you know, always has like a bit of a bloody sad face going on, like you know, the puppy dog eye sort of thing. Like, you know,
even at full time versus Bayern, everyone was like on edge. It was an on edge game at full time. He's just there, just cruising. I know he's against a German side, but
I don't know what it is. He's
relaxed.
just like really like, I think lethargic is the word because when he's good, he makes it look so easy.
Yeah,
but like last night, I thought he was, massive 8 out of 10 performance. Like. He just needed to put one of those away. He had 3 or 4 of those where, you know, big boy, you got to hold his position a little bit better when he's in front. Like Diego Carlos looked like bloody Maldini last night with the way he was just bullying Havertz off the ball. But I say this all, but he's still in my he's my striker in this team as well.
I think you have to have him in there.
I just think we don't really have an out-and-out striker anymore.
None of these Timber strikers.
Jesus plays off the wing now. I mean, I know he played striker last night, but he plays like this floating role with Trossard.
Yeah. I don't think I thought of Trossard in the middle because he's probably the best finisher.
He's the best finisher, 100%. Out of the three, out of Jesus, obviously out of Chelsea, and then out of Jesus, Trossard and Havertz. Trossard is clears finishing 100%.
Yeah.
Just for some reason doesn't really get the persistence down the middle.
Nothing.
Maybe that's an age thing. Maybe that's, you know, like he's not going to be there forever sort of thing. You know, Havertz offers us more with the long balls. But so I've gone Saka,
obviously,
Kai and Madueke off the left.
Madueke can probably get in, but the whole
off the left though.
You just talk about anyone.
I think he's probably their best forward. Right, and I need it on more, and the left wing position's sort of a bit up in the air at the moment with Arsenal. You know, Martinelli sort of like actually lost his spot now.
Yeah, but if it was a combined team without having to have the restrictions, Martinelli or Trossard would walk in.
Yeah, probably Trossard.
I'd go Trossard,
and
probably play like
Martinelli's
a Trossard.
Actually lost his spot. You know, it's because it's been Jesus or Trossard.
Jesus has been out there a lot.
It hasn't been Martinelli. So I know he started against Bayern, but
I think he was actually alright against Bayern.
Yeah, Arsenal fans don't think so. They didn't rate his game.
It was a good game for wingers. I thought both sides had good wingers that game. But I get where you're coming from. There's a bit of frustration there. It's a hard 10 to pick.
Yeah, kind of a few Make-A-Wish picks in there.
It felt like chuck him in there. I'll go over my team one more time. I went Raya, Cucurella, Saliba, Silva, Gusto, Rice, Enzo, Martin, Erdegaard, Cole Palmer off the left, Havertz in the middle, Saka off the right.
I've gone Petrovic, Gusto, Gabriel and Saliba, the 2 best centre-backs of the year. Cucurella, Rice, Odegaard and Palmer. It's probably the best midfield in the league.
Probably, yeah.
And then Saka, Kai and Madueke.
Yeah, strong. Strong, but not good enough.
There's gaps there for sure.
That's a Conference League team. Oh, maybe carried by the Arsenal.
Where is that team? Because the top end is so good.
That's what I'm saying. Or your team to do the defence.
I think it's fourth. I think that team's better than Villa, personally. You know.
Yeah. You beat a lot of the bottom teams, but do you have the goals to beat the top teams?
I mean, Petrovic, irrelevant, doesn't need to save anything. And then
the fullbacks are just so
imagine Cole Palmer and Odegaard in the same team. It'd be very left foot bias.
Yeah, I was like, you're overloading the left hand side.
No right. I don't know if you've watched last night. Odegaard had like one pass on his right foot to cross it back. He just missed the ball. Like I love the guy, but he's so Mesut Ozil on his right foot. Like I like these guys on.
But no one can touch him.
It's actually insane. Like they're so good in their left foot because like they only have one foot and players can't predict.
That's what I'm saying. But for some reason, players don't know how to shut it down. It's beyond me. It's beyond me.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't even put the ball back. Couldn't even cross the ball back. Odegaard on his right foot it was hilarious.
Loves the left hand side.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, we'll go over to the other. Well, now the leaders, the advantage side of the title race. City, they dominated Luton 5-1. This felt like the City that we're used to, right? Just 90 minutes of just one-way traffic.
I put like $20 on Erling hat-trick. He probably should have had one, to be honest.
He had one of those ones again where it bounced in front of him.
Missed the ball, should have scored his goal in the first 30 seconds. Ended up being that weird off
whatever
is
the
the
poor
Japanese
geezer got
guy's
like
face.
concussed, like through the ball.
Yeah, well, that was stiff.
That was so bad. And he's only in because City's Kabore is like City's player still. So the Kabore couldn't play, so he came in.
Oh, that guy versus us though.
Oh, so maybe.
Yeah, he was stinky against us as
he's
well.
He's bad, man, though. I've only seen him play a few times.
He's
but the fact the ball just like cannoned off his head.
Wait, it's Kabore, City Loanee player.
City Loanee. He's still a City player. That's why I thought he came. So maybe not. Maybe someone else was injured. But it's just like the first 2 minutes, the poor guy just copped him, man. He got blasted.
You thought it was like a Haaland wonder goal. And then you said the replay just bang off it, like it was mental.
90-degree off his head.
But yeah, they absolutely dominated City.
How much you can talk about this game other than there was just some great. Doku's
goal
was good.
A walk in the park.
Yeah, Ross scored a goal. Good on him. But yeah, Luton are down. I think the 1 week of hope from last. It was the last week they beat Bournemouth. I think it was last week. There's a bit of maybe they might have some momentum. It's dead in the water now. They've got some hard fixtures to go. City got an easy run.
You know, still is only one game. Whose goal difference is better, Forest or Luton?
Forest is still better than Luton.
So like they need to win 2, to be honest. 2 in 6.
And I think the fixtures for Luton aren't easy.
What the frick?
They've got Brentford at home, which have to win this next game. As I said it to Antonio, who I think he was here with me for that time. They have to win their home games: home to Brentford, home to Everton, home to Fulham on the final day. So they have to win those. They're away to Wolves and away to West Ham in between.
Is that Forest or
that's a Luton?
Okay, they're not the worst.
So they got 5 games to go because they've some of the teams have played extra because FA Cup. So they've got 5.
Some team has 8. I think Chelsea have 8 games left.
Chelsea have had a weird because they keep getting teams who've got cup competition. Yeah,
and then some have got 5, But
how much? Chelsea got 8 games left.
Yeah,
That's
Chelsea
ridiculous.
only played 30. Look, Luton.
Good.
They're not out of it.
It's a good crack though.
But it feels like they are a little bit.
You go down honourably. I think that's what it feels like.
Yeah, no, it's been a good crack for Luton.
See you in 2 years, 3 years time.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they going to come straight back up? I don't know.
I don't think they're going to come back. I don't think they'll come straight back. They might have a few
Championship's getting pretty good.
Champo's cooking a bit, so I think it'll be tough for them. But yeah, I had to touch on that because obviously City go back top, and it's always an advantage playing first on the weekend. I feel like as well, it just has like a mental.
Do you think that's the advantage? Because there's been debate recently, as in like, is it better knowing
what you have to do to But you saw what happened to
Liverpool. There's definitely more pressure knowing, like, as in, especially last night, as in, like, after half time, it was like, oh shit, we only had one half.
And especially with Arsenal, the fact that you knew City had Liverpool had lost as well. It was like, all right, our direct in terms of points rival had dropped. Oh, all right, let's go on and win this.
As the time withers away, suddenly it becomes even more and more like, oh shit.
And this is what I was talking about a while back with. I think my point against Arsenal, but it's turning out a point against Arsenal and Liverpool because the fans are so invested.
Yeah.
That stadium energy is so tense.
Tension's massive.
Anfield's tension the last 3 games at home has been over the top. Arsenal, obviously, it's going to happen as well.
I was worried about that with Liverpool, like the whole Klopp factor plus the league factor. Just the emotion
tense in there, man.
Was going to be, I just thought, too high, and I thought it might become too much, too overwhelming towards the end of it. Yeah. Like when push comes to shove, I thought that it might just be a little bit too wound up about you have to bomb the ball forward,
cross into line.
You forget how to actually win.
Yeah,
and you just start playing desperately, and that's when it becomes easy to defend.
Yeah, because it's sort of a benefit of the empty had because there's literally no atmosphere, so there's no pressure.
Losing 1-0 at home to Palace is mental.
We'll get in that because that was bad because that was one of the easier games that I in my little fixture roundup thing I put it as a green FPL fixture, like an easy win, but it was not that in many regards. The next game was actually quite entertaining. Nottingham Forest 2, Wolves 2. Watching this one back was
Didn't watch this one.
I had to watch it back because I thought it'd be a bit of a dead game, but it turned out to be all right. Wolves have got some of their players back. So Wayne came off the bench.
So Wolves went 1-0 up. Mateus Cunha. Oh, I saw this. Mateus Cunha banger.
Good goal.
That was insane. He ran from halfway. Then did like a spin.
Yeah, span inside 2 of them.
Banged it top right. That was insane.
Right. Jose Sá, good release as well. Got him on the counter.
That was an insane goal. And then
Forest had 2.
And then Forest got 2 in a row.
Gibbs White, good equaliser. And then Danilo. Yeah. Straight after half time. So got a goal as well.
And then who scored the?
And then it was Cunha again from the goal line base. It was just a scramble.
What was that one?
It was ball was put in. It was just sort of a cluster in the box. And then he just chucked his foot out and it went in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was one of those games where
what a player.
It First game back as well. Like the fact he can just hit the ground running.
He's been a great signing for Wolves. Like he
was their only signing.
He's way too good to be.
Their only signing. It was there. And I tell you what, if they hadn't had all those guys missing for that last month and a half, with the way United have played, the way West Ham have played, the way Fulham have yo-yoed.
Gary O'Neill, man, knows how to get it done. Yeah. He tell you what, he is like, whether he's at Wolves in a year or two's time, like I don't know, but what he's done is made himself like the new like Sam Allardyce.
England.
Oh, I don't know if England want to get another sort of ball player like another like game stylistic player like manager like Gary O'Neill.
I was just thinking about because you know how internationals are very negative at times. They're like,
yeah, but
he's got that, but he's also got the attacking philosophy as well. We saw on the weekend.
I don't know if they get an English manager. I think they might go elsewhere, which feels pretty un-English. Yeah, obviously,
not to go for like the Brexit manager. Yeah,
but what Gary's done though, I think he's made himself like a Sam Allardyce in terms of like he would just have jobs. No, in terms of like
he's got that aura about him almost.
In terms of like. He's gonna have jobs lined up for him for the rest of his career. Now.
If he gets sacked or something,
that's what I mean. It's like you know, Allardyce always had jobs just coming his way, like 6 or 7 jobs, right?
Yeah.
So I think same as that sounds like a discredit to Gary O'Neill, and I don't mean that. I mean,
if all goes to shit, that's what he's got there.
He's proven, no matter the squad, no matter the circumstance, coming in 3 days' notice.
3 days, man. That's
one signing. I think he's shown he can just do whatever he needs to do to. He can get teams playing his way and get results. And I mean, more than get results. So credit to Gary.
He's made Fortress at home. Always a bit questionable on the road, but he just goes, when they need to, in-game management, just goes defensive and just will take the point. That's a hard point to Forest. You're like,
who are trying to survive. Like take nothing away from that point.
That's a big point. With only Juan coming off the bench, but you had Cunha and Gomez and Sarabia, the only real players of note. And they're the only real players that had on there, and they still got a result. So, fair play to them. Another handy point. They still... can they get Europe? 11th. Oh, just because Chelsea have so many games in hand, man. They win.
What's the gap between them and
so West Ham at 8th on 48. So they're 5 points with a game in hand, though. So it could be...
Wolves have a game in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not impossible. West Ham are like really hitting the...
West Ham is so yo-yo. It's mental. Like... When I talk about yo-yo, that middle group is like
here we go.
So unpredictable.
West Ham, Chelsea, Brighton. If you can keep Wolves out of that, and Fulham, those 4 teams this season have been so yo-yo for me.
Yeah,
because Chelsea have gone taken to the big boys. Lost
West Ham, Chelsea, right? And you said Fulham
and Fulham. Fulham are the biggest yo-yo.
Fulham have been yo-yo for like years.
Now, yeah. It feels like even like we'll get in their game in a minute. They win that game, but the week before they'll just. Average versus Newcastle.
I can't predict these teams. Like on paper last night, you would have predicted the 3 teams that lost. You would have said 1.
Yeah, 100%.
Liverpool, West Ham, Arsenal.
Yeah,
like what?
And home teams as well. Yeah, easy.
And all home. Yeah. And they didn't score a goal. Not one goal. For
the teams.
What?
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, actually, that's even more.
They
insane.
didn't score 1 goal. Imagine if you okay, we're trying to make it gambling, but imagine if you. The odds you would have got to bet on not only those 3 teams losing,
but to not score.
Okay, Palace were paying 11-1. Aston Villa were 11-1. That's 100-1 already, right? More, but 100-1. And then Fulham weren't favourites either.
No, they would have been
like $4, $3.
Right? 3, yeah.
It's like already that's 300-1 you would have got.
Chuck on some,
right? Chuck on $5, you win 1,500.
Yeah.
And then if you were to chuck on a leg, which none of them, no home team scores. It would have been that would have been 5,000-1 or 10,000-1. I swear.
Over under 2 goals,
I mean, that would have legit been 10,000-1, I reckon, and it happened.
I'm waiting for one of those betting accounts to post on Instagram with some.
Some real bet slip of trust me, someone would have bet on that.
SA anytime goal, Liverpool to lose.
I know that was definitely a real bet slip. Wasn't made after the game.
I love those that go off on Monday morning.
There's a few of those weird betting accounts say I don't know, they have
£3 to £10,000.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous bets you've ever seen. It's no way.
7 legs of a goal scorer. The unders
over 4.5 goals. It's paying $20.
Some guy was incredibly drunk. All that doesn't exist, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All right, we're not going to avoid it this week, and Tony's not here to waffle forever about it. But we drew 2-2 to Bournemouth to continue the great run of just not winning games. 5 games, I think now. We could have lost as well.
So I think it's another. It's funny because it's like, yeah, I think you guys will persist with your manager to the end of the season, but I think he's gone.
That's the thing.
Ten Hag has to go. Like, I've absolutely nailed how bad this guy is. No, but in all seriousness, you guys have just like capitulated. Talk about bottling. You haven't even given yourself a chance to get top 4 anymore.
There's a serious beach going on now. There is like,
I mean, was it not like a month ago we were having a conversation on this very couch, and we're like,
maybe 4th,
6 points. 6 points, game in hand. Like, we're cooking. We're cooking, right? Like, who was in form? Kobe Mino, what a player, right? And now it's 10 points between you and 5th.
Yeah.
And okay, I know we've had the Spurs discussion, but Newcastle are up and running.
They're more form.
Mate, you guys are nowhere near it at the moment. What do you reckon? You've had one discount FA Cup. You haven't won in 5. You reckon?
I think it's been 5. I think Everton win was our last win.
That's insane. And
it's not even like
you're on the beach.
It's not even like we look.
How do you watch these games? Like,
I struggled, man. I was doing more research about running shoes than I was.
What's like Ten Hag's demeanor like?
He walked out the interview as well. I don't know if you saw that. He walked out.
He's lost it.
But it's what it feels. Every manager ends the same way. Rangnick did the same thing. He walked out in the interview. He got so that, like I've seen this story 5 times.
Mourinho, like every job he ever has.
The 3 thing, 3 for me, 3 for them.
It's actually insane, eh?
It's the same thing. That's why I feel like for me,
it's just overwhelming. The job is just too much.
For me, and this is insane. And you're gonna probably next year if he stays, be like you're right. I will persist, but I'm always persist. I'm persist with.
Because you reckon there's just like no downside to persisting.
What could possibly?
Like, what do you get out of not persisting? Okay, because you cut.
What we get for not persisting is we get 3rd next season. The expectations go back up. A new play style, new managers. We spend 250 million again, and then we go to shit the next season.
Well, I think that's a better result than persisting with Ten Hag, personally.
But we keep wasting money. We keep going through like 200 mil each second season.
But what? So you're not going to invest this summer?
We will, but at least it'll be on the same track instead of changing direction again.
Same track. I feel like the track. You guys have gone backwards though.
But have we?
Your game style's gone backwards.
But isn't that on the players though?
Your investment is horrendous.
I think you got to give them a chance on these new guys. I don't want to keep giving
Anthony, new guy.
No. Under the new owners guy and the new scouts and all this stuff. Like we've got a whole new upstairs.
Yeah, well, I think you need it because you look at it in your investment. Mason Mount, Amrabat.
See that
Anthony.
And I keep saying this is
Casemiro. Oh my god.
Yeah, we said a bit off there.
But this is obviously past sort of directing, like football direction.
But no, that's not. You can't not blame Ten Hag for that. Like I think so. I definitely
see Tots never does this. I think that's on Ten Hag.
No, I'd blame Ten Hag for that. I appreciate it's half on the owners,
yeah,
but it's more because the money you spend on them. Not the Ten Hag's obviously chosen it. Amrabat's the biggest one for me. Has not seen a minute since December. Neither is Ericsson.
Who's was it the fullback? Who's your left back?
Oh, Malacia.
Is he injured?
He's alive again. They've spotted him in England. He's actually been spotted.
So what is up with Malacia?
So what happened? Here's the run. Remember last time we're trying to work out what happened?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
So he wanted to go to his own personal surgeon who stuffed his knee up even more. So they found loose parts of his knee.
Yeah, right.
So then he wanted to go back again, but then United then accompanied him back because United left him to do it on his own. Then United joined him there for the next surgery, which seems to be a restorative surgery where you're just naturally allowed to heal. So that means it's a longer period.
Like for like another year.
So that's why he hasn't been seen for ages. He's just gotten back to Carrington to start doing rehabilitation. He's only just doing rehab. But keep in mind, this time last year is when I'm pretty sure got injured. He missed the FA Cup final.
What a basket case.
So he's been 12 months just to get the surgery done right. So now you got another, 7 months of just rehab?
Yeah.
So that's been handled poorly, and that's not that's more in the club. That just says where the club is.
Mate,
it just screams.
To be fair, okay, I give Ten Hag a lot, but your club is just like
it's just horrendous, man.
Your club is a basket case.
It is all over the place.
Just drop a bomb, restart it. That joint is gone.
And that's the thing. So Mount's obviously his signing, but the fact you spend like 70
mil on Mason Mount with all the areas you had needed fixing.
Not there.
Oh my god. Onana, like cool, but 50 mil.
I'm not mad with that one.
50 mil though for a goalkeeper.
But the way that he's
got Raya for 2 mil alone. We're gonna pay like 20 mil.
I know.
David Raya, who's a better keeper.
The thing is, because
Premier League proven.
Because you make a Champions League final, because he was the Champions League best goalkeeper.
He hadn't played for a year.
Onana?
Yeah, he was out with the drug thing.
No, he played last year. He was in the Champions League final with Inter.
Okay, no, but yeah, actually, you're not wrong.
That's why the price is so expensive. He's a 35 mil keeper.
I thought that was year before. I thought he was.
No, he was
Champions
last
League
year's
final, and then he had the drug doping thing.
No, he was doping, went to Inter, had an average season, then had the Champions League season. That's the only reason he got his price. And Inter are a very smart side. They sell inside.
Well, they're smart, but you're just dumb.
Oh, we're done. But that's the thing. The precedent's set now. You know you can push United 10 mil more.
But this is what we did for a couple of years there. Is that like we almost set that precedent. We signed Pepe.
Yep.
We signed Lacazette like 50 mil. You know. We signed like Mustafi and Xhaka for 30 mil back then, which is a lot of money. 30 mil
at that time.
30 mil 8 years ago was a lot of money.
That was 70 million.
That was 60, legit 60, 70 mil now, right? And it was like we just had to buy the bullet for a bit there, and we just stopped signing big name players. We signed a lot of players that no one had ever heard of, right? Like no one had heard of Gabriel before we signed Gabriel, right?
Saliba,
he was 30 mil. Saliba, we signed him at 18 for 30 mil. Didn't play him for we loaned him for 3 years.
That's the smartest move of all time.
Yeah, we loaned him for that's worked out so
that's
well. Like for Edu, that was a massive
tick. That is
tick.
the biggest tick of all time.
Because you signed him at 18, loaned him out for 3 years in a row.
Send him back to France.
Legit, for 3 years.
Yeah.
You're like, and we're hearing rumours that this guy's had enough. He wants to get a permanent transfer move. Yeah. Bring him back. And he's the best centre back in the world.
He's come back, and no, he hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come back.
Yeah, we were going down the same path as you guys were with the inflated transfer thing. You just have to bite the bullet and really not sign anyone for a little bit, and just sign kids, kids no one's heard of, right? Martinelli, 6 mil, that's the
thing. I think I don't want to linger on the owners. We always talk about the owner, but I feel like that's what Ten Hag, if he stays, will have to do this summer, right?
So you got Jim Ratcliffe now, and he's
but he doesn't want.
But he wants
Southgate.
He wants Southgate.
Oh, yeah.
I think
that's what I'm saying. I'd rather keep Eric.
I'd rather.
You talk about Southgate.
This guy.
Mason now will be playing 10 every week.
This guy's like a white nationalist or something.
Yeah, it feels like it. Sir Jim Radcliffe, the English guy.
I know. Sir Jim Radcliffe Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
To coach Manchester United.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it
what's his first signing like? Pickford or something.
Yeah.
No wonder Maguire's been getting games.
Kane at the back, mate. Kane at the back with Maguire.
He signed Johnny Evans.
Yeah,
I know he's Northern Ireland, but feels like there's probably something there.
No, that's the thing. I think this summer's going to be, whoever comes is going to be massive. Whether it be, now seeing Nagelsmann, I don't think Nagelsmann will come, but now I'm saying Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann going back to Bayern? This is a midweek conversation for you guys. Yeah. But have you seen this?
I thought I got an opportunity for that. I thought Barca as well, but now it's.
But have you seen that Bayern want to bring Nagelsmann?
But Bayern are a Barca case as much as.
Yeah, Bayern are bad.
Bayern are almost United territory right now with the way they're doing.
Yeah, well, for their standards, but still they're in the quarters of the Champions League.
That's because you're
about to
got Kimmich and.
About to beat us.
I just think on Eric, I'd keep him, and I'd do what you do, but I'd keep using our best 5 players this year, all under 20 basically. Kobe Mainoo.
And Bruno.
Garnacho. Bruno's in there, yeah. I'm being a defender.
Okay, so you got Kobe,
Garnacho.
Is Garnacho all that, or is he just a flair merchant?
He's a flair merchant, but he's better than a lot of our players in our team.
How bad your team is.
Højlund
good.
Fernandes and maybe Maguire.
Wow. How the
had the turntables.
Yeah, legit. How the tables have turned with Harry Maguire. You take that armband sleeve off him, and he's just a different player.
I think generally it helps, but also helps.
Some players cannot deal with it 100%.
And also helps when you have a partner next to you that's actually going to work. Like him and Varane obviously worked it out, but then Varane goes.
What's with Lisha?
Injured again.
He's just out.
Hamstring again.
Wow.
So we've had 58 individual injuries this season. So
is it like the same players repeatedly getting injured?
So in terms of you miss and you come back, you miss. So we've had 58 injuries. We've had the most in the Premier League.
The butcher's
been butchered. He's been butchered. So that's what I'm saying. You got to give Ten Hag something for that. But then, I get social media, and look, we're the ones on social media who produce stuff. But Mark Goldbridge is killing the club right now, man. Talking about how Eric Ten Hag was wrong to take Garnacho off, and Garnacho.
Goldbridge is constantly you know what I've seen so much recently? United fans, so weird. Giving plaudits to Arsenal, so weird. You know United Trey?
Yeah, he's on.
This guy is constantly giving us credit. It's insane. He used to, like, every chance he gets,
a bag.
It's so weird,
That's
bro.
That's how low we've got.
And Goldbridge too. He's always saying how much he loves Arteta. It's so weird, bro. Like,
but Goldbridge is tweeting these things, and I get it, and that's what we all think. But at the heart of it, then Garnacho likes it. Diallo's posting.
No.
Like, Garnacho liked the tweets.
No. Oh, when the players isn't
and that's when it's all falling apart.
Dressing room's gone.
Dressing room's gone. So I wouldn't get rid of Ten Hag, but it looks like he's going to go no matter what. And you know what? You're probably right in the end. Well, couldn't hack it. Because you're right. He was an Ajax manager.
I never thought he was up to it, to be honest. Yeah. And I never liked the early days press conferences. I just didn't like his demeanor.
Yeah.
You know, some managers I like their demeanor. Like I like Ange's.
Yeah.
Whether it works out for Ange or not at Spurs,
we'll see next season. He's going to do the same thing as what.
I think he's got the right approach, right? You know, Pep obviously has an insane demeanor. Pep,
but he owns that. He's owned that.
Obviously, but Pep is like, as you know, he is the perfect manager when it comes to press conferences and backing your players, and you know the right time to have a go at referees and stuff.
He'll take off the team.
Yeah. I just don't think Ten Hag has that. But look, we can talk about all this in the off season. Yeah. We've got more games to get through.
My team, Bournemouth, keep doing what they're doing best. So at least I didn't lose out of everything because Bournemouth still performing at a high level with no one there. They had a lot of people injured, so that's all fair play to Bournemouth. All right. We'll quickly over West Ham game. They lost 1-0 to Fulham. Big win for 2-0, sorry, to Fulham because Pereira scored a double in the end. Good win for Fulham. They're a yo-yo side. West Ham a yo-yo side, but enough for Fulham to stay interested this season, but they'll probably just end up where they always end up 10th. I think we can agree with that.
Fulham, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good from Fulham in the grand scheme of things. They lost Mitro, who was like their guy.
Their dude, yeah.
You know, Willian left and came back.
Was going to leave, and basically was out and then stayed.
The whole thing was really weird there.
Even Silva was going to go.
Yeah, they had a lot of like.
When Saudi was popping,
like there was a lot of internal disruption.
Yeah,
and they managed to do a Fulham and just stay 12th.
Just
12th, 13th.
Yeah, they'll probably end up 11th, something like that, like they always do.
Fair enough, fair play. You know, doing that in the Prem, you can't underestimate how hard that is.
That's money,
especially when that top half is now a top half.
It's like a top 8.
Like when you're the first team or first
couple
2 or 3 teams outside of that it's even harder now. It's not top 4 anymore. You know, there's not 6 or 7 yo-yos above them.
No,
it's like they are the yo-yo.
The yo-yo is actually
Fulham is the yo-yo.
Fulham is the yo-yo. Quote that. Season defined. Fulham is the yo-yo. Yeah, that's it.
Palace is still Palace. It's hilarious.
Teams have lived up to expectation this season.
It's mental.
We've had highs and lows, but at the end of the day, teams have just been teams.
It's actually the
exact same Prem season.
It's hilarious.
Everyone's hyped it up.
Actually,
it literally is just the Prem season. It is. It's still a Palmer's League, man.
We'll give like a bloody ranking at the end of the season. We'll do like a tier list, and it'll be like Fulham will have their own tier list.
Yeah.
Palace will have their own tier list. Like City will have their own tier list.
Going down was the going down.
You know, relegation will have their own tier list, and then Chelsea will just be shit again.
Like, Chelsea United just underperformed.
Shit again.
Brighton may overperform. It's just like it's the way it is.
It's actually ridiculous.
Alrighty. Again, obviously we touched on the B2 games. We'll touch on that after this. The second segment of the week is our 5 players who's going under the radar.
Oh, okay.
This is subjective.
This is a cop out for me again. I had players, and I also had like segments. I had like sections.
But this is one of those ones where I'm getting to the end of the season. This is subjective stuff that have no real right or wrong answers. Just opinions, basically. Do you want to start off first with your first?
Okay. In my opinion,
yes,
it's underrated, right?
Yeah, underrated or under the radar or something. Yeah, along those lines.
I think under the radar, in my opinion, Alexander Isak.
Yeah, fair.
Has had an underrated and under the radar season. He has 18 goal comps in 21 starts, right?
It's ridiculous.
17 goals.
That's
right?
ridiculous.
And like, I just feel like okay. Obviously, Haaland does his thing. I'm hearing a lot about Solanke this year. Hearing a lot about Ole Watkins had a lot of talk, like how he should be in the England squad, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of guys like Cole Palmer, a lot of talk about Cole Palmer. I know he plays in a deeper role, it's a bit different.
So the hype.
I think he's only had 3 or 4 pens, Isak.
Yeah,
and
probably some of that.
So clinical. I think he's been like paramount to Newcastle, kick restarting. And I just think like in that echelon of striker, maybe it's because like there's no transfer rumors or anything. Like maybe like there's they're in their own little Newcastle bubble.
Yeah.
But I think he's gone under the radar a little bit. I think that output from 21 starts is insane.
Yeah.
17 goals, 21 starts. Like
Insane.
for a team that are like, well, that were, you know,
they were big
only now have come sixth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very impressive. I think it's been. I know it's like not as under the radar.
It's a big player, but
it's a big player. Everyone knows who Alexander Isak is, but I think in terms of like, he's got 3 less goals than Haaland, right? In a team which is significantly worse,
play less games,
and he's going to have probably 0 team of the season shouts. Right?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Despite being elite,
because he's not English.
I think that's a good, you know, that shows in itself. Like, no team of the season recognition.
Yep.
But he's been that level of player.
If it was Alexander Isaac, like ISAACK, he would be like with an English.
He actually sounds like a roadman.
Yeah.
Have you heard him speak?
He is so.
Bro.
He's got that northern.
The accent caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
He's Swedish.
Yeah.
Well, where was the clip?
It was from like Sky, one of Sky's things.
Nah, man.
And I'm like, wait, what?
I'm like, who is this guy?
He just pops up, and we're just like,
you hear Ibra, who's Swedish.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's going to have a thick accent.
The
or
lion.
something.
Yeah,
and then Isaac's like, nah, man.
Chef manner.
Oh.
No, all right. Top
Who you got?
say, I'll copy you sort of thing. I went Brennan Johnson, who are 2 top 10, but underrated because everyone's like Madison, Son.
Yeah. He's actually been starting a lot.
He's starting now. And Werner, everyone gets the attention. But he's been like, when I talk about Tottenham second half.
Kulusevski's been a little bit underrated.
I think he's been a lot. You probably put him in there as well. But when I talk about Tottenham second half FC, it's not because he comes on and just like changes the game. Good change of pace, good numbers. I haven't got him written down, but he's had some good assist numbers recently as well. Like assists in, I think, 3 or 4 of his last 6 games. So good numbers there. Massive on the right or the left for them. Played a bit of everything. And I loved him at Nottingham Forest. I thought he was underused. Finally getting the treatment he deserves. So got him in there as one of my guys from the big boys.
My next one, I've gone Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, shout. That's a good shout.
So I think players just down that sort of end of the table always get a little bit underrated. And it's more so Morgan Gibbs-White since Nuno's come in.
He cooked.
He's cooked. And I think he's also been like, you know, the goals and the assists he's getting, I don't know the numbers, but they're pretty good output.
Good numbers, yeah.
They're also like, they're like directly correlated to the wins, right? So as in, you know, when Morgan Gibbs-White scores or assists, they're getting results.
Yeah.
And at that, when you're in that position in the table, every point matters. And when you're having goals, when you have an output which is directly leading to points, you know, I think that's like sort of invaluable in a sense, you know, like as in he's worth every penny, which I think, you know, every penny sort of thing. So, he's obviously a bit of recency bias, scored in the weekend. Yeah. But like, that's sort of the point.
His good numbers have been
He's been good since Nuno's been here.
Yeah.
I think he's been underrated.
Good turnaround.
Under the radar. Not underrated, under the radar.
Under the radar. Let me get someone. I'll try and match you again. I went with Pablo Sarabia.
Yeah.
Just because the same sort of thing. When Wolves have played well, he's
been a bit more in the spotlight
and because
as of late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone's missing. You need one guy to turn up. He's turned up. 4 goals, 7 assists. I think he's only had, like, in terms of appearances, there'll be a lot, but he only started a lot recently because of all these injuries. So some good numbers for someone who thought was just there for a bit of a paycheck, come from Spain, thought just, you know, there off the bench, but he's done a really good job. And he wasn't Gary O'Neill's player. It was Lopetegui's player who brought in I think midway through and started last season. So good production from him. Stepped up in the missing shadows of the Wangs and the Netos. So fair play to him. And it's been and will continue to be important, I feel like, for Gary O'Neill going forward. He's my
This one is such a cop out. But I was going to put Vardiol, but then I just put City backline.
Not fair.
I think it's going under the. They're not keeping heaps of clean sheets, but like, I just think you know, we always talk about like having like a stable backline, like is often like sort of paramount to getting success, right?
Yeah.
But there's like 6 or 7 of them which roll through there
every week,
and you know, and I'm also not as much. Okay, Diaz is probably underrated, but as in like. More so like Akanji and Ake and Vardiol, like sort of those guys' ability to sort of just like roll in and out, you know, play in positions which they're not really like. Okay, they're playing like Vardiol's playing on the left. I thought he's been really good recently, Vardiol. Yeah, they're playing fullbacks, but their centre backs like sort of naturally, right? And I think they've, you know, they're just another reason why like Foden's getting all the credit, right? Yeah. they're just another reason why like City are in this position.
Yeah.
Just kick on and win the league again. You know, they're stable. They get the job done, right? And even like Stefan Ortega, you can chuck him in there as well. Like he's done a job while Edison's been out.
Yeah.
I think the City backline is always sort of underappreciated.
Yeah.
And under the radar.
It's not the shining lights like the KDBs and photos, right?
Yeah, it's also not like the João Cancelo and those like, you know, like they're not like these like, you know, big. Like as in like Zinni and João Cancelo in that inverted fullback role a couple of years ago, it was like, a lot of spotlight on them. Like, you know, they're getting up the ground, like they're making it was and you know, and at the same time Ruben Dias, he was getting player of the year because he had to be that much more important. Yeah. Because there wasn't that structure and the play which allowed them to be like a cohesive unit. Yeah. They were much more individual in the back line, right?
Big moments.
But now it's just like a bit of a, you know, it's the same player copy and pasted across the back. But they do a job.
Ball playing centre back, right? No, genuinely. That's a good shout. I went next. I'll go Sergio Reguilon for Brentford.
Okay.
One, because it was really good for United and we shouldn't let him go.
Yeah.
He's got 3 assists in 11 games for Brentford, who haven't scored many goals, been big in a back four. And because I've missed Rico Henry all season, it's like it was inevitable they needed someone. He's just filled that spot. You forget that Rico Henry's been gone for so long, but he's just filled that spot to a team.
I forgot Rico Henry.
And since he's been there, they've sort of turned it a little bit around. They were obviously in a bit of relegation problems, but since he's come there, they've got some big results. Always good for whipping a ball in the box, good pace, good closing speeds. Not that great defensively, but you need a back five. You don't really need to be like the best left back of all time. So I think he's been good, great for both clubs, great serving for both clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford try and maybe sign him up. I think he's still a Spurs player. If I'm not,
I was gonna say, is he still a Spurs player?
Which is ridiculous because he hasn't played for Spurs now for like
weird career,
how many years? He's been at Atletico, he's been United. Now I don't know, but I think if Brentford were willing to put their hand in their back pocket with some of that Tony money, sign Sergio Reguilon, good player. So here's my next one.
No, it's a good shout. I've gone Semenyo and Kluivert.
Yeah, shout.
So as in, I think
the duo.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth, it's Solanke, right? You know, comes to mind, and fair enough. He has a lot of output. He's like once again like paramount. He's not a lot, but he is paramount to the way they play, and has the hold up players, the finishing. You know, can get in behind. Like Solanke is a really complete striker, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there next year, right? But Semenyo and Kluivert, like they have a lot of output. Like this, you know, like they go onto the radar a lot at Bournemouth because of the stable piece in the middle. But they score goals, they assist a lot. They offer a bit of pace and width, and I think that they've been really under the radar in Bournemouth's success this year.
Yeah, that big guy gets to the props. All right, since you've gone one of the lower shouts, I'm going to go another lower shout, a rogue shout. I'm going Adam Wharton from Palace because he's played every single game. Here, I got the stats here. Every single game.
He's played every game this year
since joining from Blackburn in the January transfer window. And I think they've had one of the best points bracket since he's been there.
This guy is younger than us.
Yeah. He was killing it for Blackburn.
June 2004.
Yeah. And you know what I love as well? I'd say it as well because him and Will Hughes are the most Brexit combination in midfield. And he was actually very good last night, Adam Wharton. Good all-round player. Definitely someone to keep an eye out for the future. But I think he's turned, him and Palace, that run, I think they've got the most points in that period for the season, I think. Something like 8-game period of time. So he's been massive for them. He's someone different.
That's a good shout.
And no one would have thought of that one, so that's what I've chucked in there.
If you asked Tots, he wouldn't know who it was.
No, he would not know who Adam Wharton is. So I've chucked him in there.
Hey, it's the casual's couch, man.
Yeah, that's why it's here in the occasion.
It's all good. Okay.
Fifth and final.
Oh, this was a really late one, but I think he probably deserves a little bit of credit. I've gone Bruno Fernandes.
Finally, someone said it.
And look, Bruno cops a lot from me. But I was just checking the stats. He's your leading goal and assist player, like individually in both. He's played deep roles this year. He's had to play a lot of different roles. Plays either really deep, plays like this weird wing role sometimes. I've seen him play on on the right.
Yeah, stupid.
Where he gets so wide.
Yeah.
Bruno, he's a cam. He's like a out and out cam. He's actually pretty. As much as I hate watching him go down and flop and do that shit, he's pretty good defensively. I think Bruno gets back,
getting better. Yeah,
you know, I think he does his rash tackles every now and then, but I don't mind that from your Cam.
Yeah.
I like seeing your Cam. I had met Ozil for a lot of time, right? You know, Ozil was cute. Like there wasn't anything, right? It was like obviously Odegaard is like the best at it.
Yeah,
he's the most complete sort of center attacking mid, but I think Bruno, like, you know, occasionally isn't afraid to get a yellow or snap someone. I don't. If I was a United fan, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Exactly, right? I think I'd probably like Bruno a lot, but you know, I think his output always goes under the radar, Bruno. Especially for, you know, like I think that's one thing that definitely goes under the radar. And despite your really bad sort of last few months, he's had a lot of output, and he's one of the reasons why, you know, you've still been in games. So you know, United been bad, but okay, Manu gets a lot of plaudits at the moment, so he's not under the radar.
Absolutely not.
If there is another one who gets sort of, and Maguire could have been in this conversation as well.
Yeah.
Despite not being great defensively, you know, in terms of clean sheets. I think they're probably the two of like that experienced echelon, which are copying a lot of flack, despite maybe not being all them.
Not that bad, yeah. You're gonna like my last one, save last for a reason. One an Arsenal player.
You're gonna Trossard.
I wish you actually could put Trossard in.
Is he under the radar?
No, I didn't put Trossard in. I didn't put Trossard before. I could have.
You got like Ben White.
Close. No. I did go Tommy Asu in the end.
Oh,
which you're gonna love that. And no, just because
Tommy, I could have put him because it's a start.
But
great call.
But the thing is though, because of the centre backs, like this is like the thing with City, sort of thing with you. The centre backs are so good, and they're arguably, you're probably right. As the way things are going, they probably are the best two centre backs.
Ben White could have been in here as well. Ben White probably should have been in my list, to be honest.
And you know what, the fullbacks have been just underrated for me. Like just in general.
Tommy. So good.
Every time they play, and especially Tommy Asu, every time he plays.
How many subs has he had this year?
But he's just the 60th minute. He just comes on and
He is the first guy every game.
Bro comes
Mikel
on,
brings him on every game
and locks down that flank. He'll always lock down that flank.
Insane. Like,
and I think he's just so consistent. I can't think, has he ever been like skipped past or like put in his bum?
Best one-on-one defender in our team, probably in the league.
He's just good for me, and I feel like because the centre backs are that good and you don't really defend too much, you don't see it, but I hear it from you and I see it when I watch it. He's a consistent player.
Yeah, he's been subbed on 12 times out of 17.
That's ridiculous.
And
but this is like second half though. It's not even like late in the game. It is second half.
No, it's like it is 60 minutes every game.
Yeah, like we see him all up the 50th minute. He's there.
And sometimes it can be tough to come on at that time as a defender.
You're not warm
because everyone's hot. Yeah, you know, and he comes on for they subbed on Doku the other day against City. City subbed on Doku.
Yeah.
And Mikel instantly subbed on
bring him on
Tommy and played him left back just to guard Doku.
Shut him out.
Like it was mental. It was you know, he is so reliable. The only thing which isn't is his injuries. Like his body can't hold up.
Yeah.
But this guy is an absolute machine. Like I love his like, you know, demeanor. Super hardworking. Yeah. Like
doesn't make
no BS. Yeah, occasionally has like the, you know, like the my hair, you know, occasionally does the blonde tips.
Blondes it up.
But you know, I'll allow it. but no, I love Tommy. That's a great call. That is such a good call.
I had to save it. That's right to the end, but no, he's it.
Arsenal fullbacks, besides Zinchenko, should probably be the underrated section, to be honest.
Because the centre backs are that
good. They don't get any mention.
It's nothing against the fullbacks, just that.
Like Gabriel a year ago was underrated. Now he gets mentioned.
Absolutely, yeah.
Besides in team of the seasons and stuff. Doesn't get those yet. But the fullbacks, great call. I'm glad you said it because I didn't.
Oh, we've got at least one of them in there eventually. But there we go. There's 5. I've taken from every part of the league. We've covered,
mate, you went.
We've covered all parts.
Wharton to who's your best one?
Probably Tommy in the end. Oh, Brennan Johnson. Yeah. 2 top.
I had a lot higher in than you, but that's.
You had a few.
I had more. I had Gibbs.
Yeah, Gibbs. Yeah, that's a relegation. You have a few relegation geezers in there.
Semenyo.
All right, let's talk about the last two. I guess in combination, we sort of already touched on both these games, but we'll talk about bigger moments here. First, I guess we should talk about Liverpool first and touch much about them. They lost 1-0. I did watch this game. This was of the two I watched that most intently. Very interested how it went. It was just, I think it was a cursed game. He had the Van Dijk slip.
It was worse. I didn't even see this, but I had someone texting me the whole time.
Van Dijk had the Gerrard slip, so Messi should have had 2-0. Eze scored, and again, I got to actually do the stats. I said to Antonio last time we were together, I don't think they've lost when playing together this season. Elise and Eze,
Really?
I'm sure they haven't lost together. And the commentator said last time they played together, they've won the last 2 games. So now it's 3-3. These guys, like, they're obviously they're going to.
They also had something about Eze and Elise is that when they play together, it feels like one of them is always responsible for scoring the winner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they always together. Score the winner.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's City when Eze or Elise scored like the 94th minute pen to make it 2-2. Like these guys are always involved. And I think Palace just played with confidence. Like they weren't like. They sat back second half, but first half they were getting at Liverpool a bit, trying to counter-attack them. Scored the goal, had the odd chance of Van Dijk slip, stuff like that. It wasn't like they were like Palace.
Van Dijk slip is
I'm going to quote it now. So Van Dijk, so he generally did Steve on the halfway line.
I didn't see this. I don't know how I missed this.
Yeah, Alisson had to make a big save here and there. So like Palace went bad. I know Liverpool up to 26 whatever shots, and they just were cursed. Salah kicked a ball that landed at his feet.
Nunes missed a sitter, I think.
And Curtis Jones, this guy. He reminds me of Scott McTominay, literally. He's like the Liverpool, because he's Scouts.
Yeah,
no one
Scouts
gives him one-on-one on goal. Perfect ball from Gakpo. Like, the only good thing he's done for the last month.
Yeah, Gakpo's been non-existent.
Like, inch perfect. Has to run in, gets in front of, I think it was Lerma, so it was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, just puts it wide. He got to hit the target. You one-on-one. And that was it. And at that moment, I think it was at the 78th, everyone's like, you could tell the whole crowd just, done. And that was it. Like you said, there was so much nerves after that first goal went in.
Been massive, man.
Every chance was like built up as some big thing. Diaz had a few big saves from Henderson. Like, don't get me wrong, if the first goal, like the first chance went in, it could have been like 5-0. But because it didn't, probably simmer. And what we'll say about your game as well, but that's just the way it was. So fair play to Palace. They're doing what Palace do now. Just sitting mid-table, getting good results.
Yeah, 1 or 2 big scalps a season.
They do. They have not lost in the Northwest yet this season. To the contest. Really? They beat us.
In the Northwest?
They beat us.
How many teams is that? 4? Is that only 4 teams? No, that's like...
That's 4. It is 4, because Merseyside and Manchester. So they drew to City.
So Newcastle's like just north.
That's just like,
north.
That's out of the way.
North, man.
They drew to City. They beat us, I'm pretty sure, at home. They beat Liverpool at home.
They haven't lost to any...
And they drew to Everton. So they've been, like, I know Everton's a bit rough, but still, they're all hard places to go. I don't think they've lost there this season.
I lost there. Okay, I think to those
teams. No, in general, I don't think they might have dropped.
There's like, no way they haven't. But still, if they haven't lost,
might have dropped.
That's a mental stat.
This is a commentator stat. It's not my stat. So
but it's good stat.
I'm pretty sure. I'll check it. But they've been decent, man.
Yeah, no. So where actually are they on the ladder? Are they 12th?
Not 12th. They're not quite. They're 14th. 14th, yeah. But so there's that gap, because Bournemouth got that gap on the rest.
And have they gapped the guys below them?
But to the relegation, yes. They're 7 points off Forest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay. Oh, you're not wrong. There's a bit of a gap there.
Because Bournemouth are just sort of like,
wow,
in their own world.
Palace, what's going on, guys? You're 9 points off.
Because Roy Hodgson sort of screwed them over. Roy Hodgson had that dead period, man. They just got battered every week.
15 losses. Oh, my God. A lot of losses.
And they were good against City as well. Like, I know they got battered as well, but they weren't like bad versus Man City. So they've had good weeks. Good new manager. I'm a fan of it. They won't keep Eze and Elise. Yeah. And they'll be screwed.
How much are they going to go for? Like 50 mil each?
Eze will be a bit more because he's English. Elise, I think, is a better player, but I think Eze will
go. Do you think Elise is better?
I think he's a better player,
yeah. They're probably like 50.
They both got good tech. But
who signs him, though?
It's a great question.
I don't know if anyone in the Premier needs those guys. I mean,
but it feels like
everyone can probably use it.
Yeah, I'd have it.
But I'd rather spend 70 mil on Mason Mount though than
a player that our best player's already in that position. We just signed someone to back.
Because Mason Mount was really good last year as well. It was really good form. That's actually the most insane transfer fee. He was shit last year.
Yeah, but Champions League, man. Champions League merchants.
Ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
how Kai Havertz goes and could win you guys a league in terms of.
Just on the last game.
Yep, you guys.
Oh, what a bummer.
I said at the start, I think it's been a blown out of proportion, but I can understand where everyone's coming from.
I honestly don't think it has. You can clip me. I've said so many times this year, like especially these last 10, 15 games, long season. There's a quarter of the season left.
Yeah.
I
said you've been so confident. You've been like you're riding it out. You're riding it out.
I've been confident on the length of fixtures, I haven't been one to overestimate a 1 point league with 10 game 12
You haven't overreacted at all, no.
But that was with Liverpool. City in my head they're just a different machine, man. And the pressure, to be honest, really got to us last night. Like as in
playing third, man.
like no, seriously.
You played third.
It was as the time dwindled away, it just got that much more. Like the pressure just increased, like that much more.
Tenfold.
You know, like it wasn't even. I know the same would have happened if we'd played first that round, but it just felt that much more knowing that City, like the live ladder showed City being ahead. You know,
I haven't seen that now. And how long we said that?
Yeah, it's been, I feel
a
like
long
it's been
time.
a while
Since first half of the season since I think we said that.
When was City last on top? I don't know.
I think momentarily during Christmas, I think they were, but for like a week or so.
Yeah.
But when they were actually top, I think we're talking like first half of the season, after Spurs title charge.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
But when that Trossard goal didn't go in,
That's what it felt
which
like.
is a bummer for Trossard because he's been so good this year, and it's just one of those, like, you know,
Good move as well.
99 times out of 100, you just put your foot in the ball, goes in. Like, genuinely. Like, as in, if it's on target, 99 times out of 100, keeper doesn't save it. It was a good save.
Yeah.
Needed to not hit it at Martinez,
keeper,
obviously.
yeah.
But
when that close, you think if you hit the ball, he goes in,
especially
right?
at his foot. Like, what? You need to hit like the perfect part
It
to
was
not
actually a decent save in terms of he put his leg out, you know?
It was a good save. But
man.
yeah,
Unai
definitely hates that club.
Yeah,
definitely hates
he
that
definitely
club.
sleeps at night and just
I probably got like a dartboard up with like the Arsenal logo. Probably Mikel's face as well.
Yeah.
F you, Mikel, mate. That's what he says.
Good evening.
But
they've done the double. I didn't realize until you said that they've done the double.
0 from 6, 0 and goal difference. 0-3, mate. We haven't scored a goal against Villa this year.
We're very attacking as well. Like they're not like
who conceded 4 against Spurs, man.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
You know, what was the last score between City and Villa? Because Villa
put up no bum. They put up bums against them. I think it was like a 4-1 or 4-2. A 4-2. They scored a late one.
It was a 4-2. That's right.
Yeah. But Villa concede.
I know,
man. And your defense is normally like I still reckon your defense is still the best in the league.
We've only conceded 3 goals, and one of them
was like counter-attack BS.
Yeah, one of them was like we're going for the win.
It was in the own half. Everyone was in the own half. Yeah.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins, like, cool. You scored a goal. Like
good finish. Yeah.
But
thoughts on Emile coming on for Ødegaard as well?
Yeah, it's a good point you bring that up. I think we texted that last night. Like, we might have forgotten it today. Yeah, look, commentators are saying some weird stuff. Jim and Martin.
I wasn't big on the commentators last night, by the way. And
I didn't
what
mind.
They were saying.
I thought it was weird though.
They're good commentators. So they're not bad commentators. But what they were talking about, I don't know. I was not. Really,
I didn't agree with what they were saying about resting them for Champions League. Because it's like we're not resting anyone when we're top of the league.
We're trying to win the league.
We're trying to win the league.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, look, I'm going to sit here and probably say that I think he got it wrong. I think he got taking Ødegaard off wrong. But at the same time, Ødegaard was amazing for the first 45. It was one of the best halves of football I've seen anyone play this year.
Best in the park.
Yeah, by far, 100%. He was insane on the ball. We should have scored probably 3. That was the problem. We should have scored 3. Yeah. Game should have been out of sight by then. Havertz should have scored a couple. You know, Trossard should have put the ball in the net. Right. We were definitely getting overrun in the second half, and whether I think that was an Ødegaard thing, I don't know. Like,
you have to make a change, but was he the one? That's the thing.
Like, I got it. You want to put you want to put Havertz as striker.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't bring on Jorginho. Maybe you bring on, like, Smith Rowe and Martinelli.
Deeper sort of.
Or Smith Rowe and whoever, just not Jorginho. And keep Rice as the 8.
He trusts Jorginho
as the 6.
As the deepest guy.
Play Ødegaard and Smith Rowe and sort of interchangeable thing, right? You know? I don't think he got it right, but I also think it's one of those where, if Smith Rowe scores the winner.
It's like a Nelson thing of last year.
Yeah, we're saying legit. It's legit Reece Nelson last year.
Pops up.
We probably dragged Martinelli. We're saying, we're bringing on Reece Nelson, who's playing a bloody Feyenoord the year before that, like, who's been so mid for us, and we're thinking, he's not going to do anything.
Bloke belted
Scores like 3 last minute winners last year, like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those where it obviously didn't play out, and we have to judge him on that.
Yeah,
but I could equally have seen that playing out
the other way around,
1/3 of the time.
Yeah,
and we're sitting here praising his genius, saying, Smith Rowe, what a finisher! He's got that poacher sort of instinct. Ødegaard wouldn't have been in that spot because legit, that's the Smith Rowe archetype. They're different players. Smith Rowe is obviously to a lesser extent, but he's a much more of a like Bruno Cole Palmer type than like an Odegaard type.
Box,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like Odegaard is more of a traditional. In your head, you think of a 10. You think of like I think of like a Martin Odegaard, right? You know, like as in really fluent on the ball, plays amazing balls, creates stuff which no one else can create.
Sees the pass, yeah.
Smith Rowe isn't that. He's a poacher. He's a good finisher. Gets in the box, isn't afraid to shoot. You know, and finds a lot of shots which other players don't.
Yeah.
Didn't pay out last night, and in hindsight, it was the wrong move. But I don't know. Like it was just a tough one. Yeah, you probably drag someone else in hindsight. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, because you've said it perfectly, is that I think he likes Jorginho.
He does, and Jorginho scored a banger against Villa last year. Remember that?
Yeah.
Bounced off.
It
wasn't own goal. It was someone else.
No, but it should have been. Remember we kept
saying it was a Jorginho goal. Right, it was a goal.
But end of last season as well, for those games, Jorginho was the guy to go to.
He's been good this year as well.
And he's always been good.
Jorginho,
I like Jorginho as a player.
And he's a winner.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those who knows how to win.
Yeah, he's been that Chelsea in that one.
Odegaard, I know he's at Madrid, but hasn't won stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Havertz, Champions League winner.
Yeah.
Like these guys know how it's an underrated aspect of the players you have in the park. Is that
been in these moments.
Do they know how to win?
Yeah.
And the guys on the pitch last night knew how to win. You know, Decky Rice knows how to win.
That's the thing. They're Declan Rice.
Jorginho knows how to win. Havertz knows how to win. You have these guys there who know how to win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen last night.
It just felt like it might not have ever happened. Just it was one of those games.
Yeah, I just think that after the 30th minute, it just wasn't going to happen.
For Liverpool and Arsenal, the first halves were just, they killed.
Because Villa really worked them well. So Villa dominated the second half. Like
they were exponential. They just grew
they went
grew
from
and grew.
first 30 minutes we were all over them.
First 20, I don't think they touched the ball in the first 20 minutes.
And then it was legit that Gabriel pass. Like that Gabriel pass
just gave him
she
some
goes
hope.
back.
Yeah.
Watkins hits the post and you're like, shit. Just like that.
They have an opportunity. Yeah.
Like that's how tight this game is. You know, we're not versing a mid to lower table team who don't have that finishing ability. We're versing fourth place with one of the best strikers in the league.
Yeah.
Top 3 striker in the league.
Yep.
That is what we're versing here. And it's like, you know, you give up those chances and you give them that belief that they're in this game, you know, and their fans were up and about.
Oh, up for it.
Oh my God. I was like, they had half, I feel like half the stadium was their fans. I know it was only like 2 blocks.
That corner block.
Oh, Watkins. Holding that flag.
Yeah, but it's everyone's go-to now, though.
It is. I hate it. They all like,
what happens.
They all come to the Emirates, they score and they think they run the joint. Yeah. Like, mate, relax.
It's the thing, it wasn't even Thierry Henry's joint anyway. Thierry Henry was
hybrid, lads. Hybrid,
that's
relax.
Real Thierry
relax,
Henry.
You know.
Yeah, O2 stuff, you know. But yeah,
What
fair
a tool,
play.
man.
Villa were good. Tillemans, for me, man of the match in terms of how he changed the game.
Yeah, Tillemans was really good. If I was going to give a man of the match.
If it's not going to be an Arsenal, because Arsenal play obviously the first half, you think early.
I don't think it can be us though. Like we lost 2-0.
Yeah.
I don't think we get up to man of the match. I think
maybe Watkins for the impact he had, but
I think Emi Martinez was good.
Yeah, it keeps in the game.
Yeah, I think Emi was good, to be honest, which is annoying because he was good at home. He's good at Arsenal. Always is.
Oh, Carlos as well, who you said as well. Carlos was.
Oh, Diego. No.
Yeah, sorry. He was
Diego Carlos.
He was man of the match. Yeah.
He was
90 minutes. Of
he kept them. He kept the score 0-0 first half.
Yeah.
And then he was elite in the second half, and they had a bit more of a
on
low
the ball.
block.
Wow, he's actually I forgot how good he was.
Yeah,
on the ball.
no, Diego. No, you're right. Diego Carlos, man of the match, 100%. He was elite.
To your point though, these are players that weren't starting start of the season. Carlos didn't start. Tillemans didn't start.
Even Pat Torres played the first game.
So was in and out.
Then I think he got injured. Was out.
Morgan,
and they were playing Mings and Konza centre back.
Morgan Rogers, who they were raving about last night. I don't think it was that great. It was still good.
No Douglas Luiz. You got
no Kamara.
It was a very different looking. It was a much more Unai Emery looking team than it was start of the year. Put it like that. You know, don't get me wrong. Luiz, if he was fit, plays obviously.
I had to revert to a bit more pragmatic first half to then build.
But like Zaniolo is a Unai player. Like, you know,
cool in the middle, plays out wide, creates stuff.
It's like a bit like less aesthetic on the ball.
Yeah,
but just, you know, offers them that, you know, that tall player up top alongside Watkins obviously, but good. He a couple times they booted the ball to him, and he managed to fend off Saliba or Gabriel. Yeah. And they kept the ball. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
A lot of strikers don't do that. You know, there's not many strikers in the Haaland doesn't do that. He's not good in the ball like that. He might win the ball, but he'll head it somewhere.
Yeah.
Zaniolo took it down. Like,
was it him that won the corner that led to the build up of that first goal?
I
might
can't
extrapolate.
remember. It might have been.
So I remember the fans went nuts because he like held the ball up, won the corner. And they
Their
were just
fans
like,
were going
and
nuts
they were
about
berserk for that
everything. It was
moment. I was like, fair play.
It was pretty scary. Like, as in, it would have been pretty intimidating.
Oh, especially when they go into that end second half. It was like,
look, you're probably right in the grand scheme of things that like there's still 6 games to go. It's a lot of points to play for, right?
I still believe in both these teams can do it, but
I think it's gone.
yeah, well, that makes sense because you're part of the team.
Yeah, I know, but I also just look at our fixtures and it was a vulnerability last night which I hadn't seen for this year.
For 2024, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it this year.
Yeah, this is Porto, basically.
I don't know. It's just game's gone.
Farmers League
Can't hurt me anymore.
No, I love that. Set the chart. I was like, that's a man down bad. That's a man struggling.
Oh man, no, because it happened the last 4 years.
I say
we've had these little masters.
Well, and especially the last 2 years, you're going for the holy grail of terms of like what you can get for. So we feel it. We feel that we can dive into it more in the off season.
Look, hopefully, fingers crossed. Game. It's not. We're not done. It's 2 points. It's 2 points. Okay.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. It's 2 points.
Believe.
Head up. Head stays up.
Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans believe. Maybe it's more just blind faith, but I still have faith in both these clubs. Quickly, winners lose because we have run later today.
Yeah.
I went Newcastle with my winner. Mojo's back. Eddie Howe's got who's the assistant? He's got his bloody running up and down the.
I don't know his name, but he's annoying.
He's so annoying, but he's got his mojo back.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah, he's a tool, mate.
I love how Gary O'Neill didn't shake his hand last year. That was my favourite.
Did he not?
Moment. End of last season, he came first and he was like, no, and he went and shook Eddie Howe's hand. I'm like, I love you, Gary O'Neill, for that. That's
great. I remember that. That's mental.
That was like end of last. If when he was at Bournemouth, I was like, that's such a boss move. Like, get out of the way, mate. You're an assistant, mate. Just Eddie.
That's good. Class.
Yeah, that's why you like
Another Gary chick.
That's why you love Gary. Yeah. And my losers was just Liverpool because, as I said, in my FPL sort of graph I put up, that was a green. That was a green tick.
I'm obviously going to go.
Yeah, and they bottled that one.
So, yeah, you got Liverpool. My losers, obviously, Arsenal.
Yeah.
My winners are probably City. Yeah. Couldn't have been a better weekend for City.
Started and ended with City, I feel like. That's a grub and end the podcast.
It could not have been a better weekend for City.
Yep.
Not only did we draw, we both lost, and they batted 5-1.
By the way, what a week for City. They won 4 against Palace where they were stuck in 2-0 down. They drew away to, in my mind, probably one of the best teams in the world in Real Madrid.
Yeah, probably the second, but City might be the best team.
And then you go and win, and your other 2 rivals draw.
And the treble's still on.
Pep's got the cigar ready to go, I think.
I hate him.
I
like Pep. I actually really like Pep.
No, end of the season, the first week after the title, I can't stand it. But after that, once we've all calmed down,
I really like Pep.
It's good. It's good fun.
But I hate him. And I hate City. Like, honestly, I'd like come to terms a little bit with City, like, as in oil money, blah blah blah. But like, I never really understood the Liverpool thing. It's like, guys, it doesn't even count. It's a fake title. But then when I spoke, like someone said to me last night, they were like, we broke Premier League points records and still lost the league.
Yeah.
Like, that really hit me. I was like, you were like
getting 99 points.
You were like the thief of happiness. Pep Guardiola is like the joy. He's like the joy thief, bro. This guy like just crushes dreams.
He came to the biggest
legit.
league.
He just crushes dreams. This guy, just ruins everything. And I get it now. I used to not hate City, but I actually hate them now. I actually hate City, and I hate City fans because they don't even care. They don't even watch the games. Like,
just check their phone. Like, oh, we won again.
We played last night at like 11 p.m. Pretty reasonable time to watch a game. Like, 5-1. No, shut up. Top of the league.
Look at that go.
Fucking City fans, man. I'm so over it.
Anyway. That's a good way to finish. Good way to start, good way to finish. City doing City.
It's what it is.
We'll be back next week. Hopefully, all 3 of us see you next week. We're in form. We're just warming up. I think we just had a couple knocks. A couple injuries.
6 games to go. Can someone draw back? Is what it is.
That's the question. All right, we'll see you next week. I'll see you guys on Thursday morning. A lot to talk about midweek. Jesus, we'll be up there. Nathan and me, we're back then. Thanks for watching. 5 stars on Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Let's get to 500 subscribers before
the season. Like 450?
450, I think. Yeah, around there. 500 before the Euros. Come on, before the Euros.
Hopefully they're not all bots.
Yeah, does not have... Yeah.
We said this once. We're like,
what
if they're all bots?
What if no one's actually watching?
And they did like a bot cleanse.
We go back to 0, start again.
Oh, I think that's it.
Game's gone? Game's gone. All right, boys. We'll see you guys next week. See you later.